Grace and peace. I'm trying to get this audio thing together. I always sound good in the headphones. And then I look down and sometimes I don't have that external mic on. And I actually think it's on. It's real early, but I wanted to share something. And a lot of people don't understand what I do, but ultimately what I attempt to do on a lot of these videos are just inform people, because there's a lot of people that's been in church for a long time and they don't know certain things. Good to see you, bro. How's Bishop doing? A lot of people don't know a lot of things, and because of the type of crowd that I have a largely believing crowd that just aren't church goers, or should I say regular church goers. I want to show y'all something that's been floating around the internet, but somebody's been asking me, a few people have been asking me about that Bible versus Christianity. And I see one sister say, she said, well, she said, well, Jesus was from the tribe of Judah, and therefore that makes her an Israelite because Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. And that's not how it really goes. This is not how it really goes. And a lot of people, they're sincere about it, but they can be sincerely wrong. Everybody that believe on Jesus is not an Israelite. Everybody that believe on Jesus is not from the tribe of Judah, because Jesus is from the tribe of Judah. It may sound funny to some people, but I noticed that when we start dealing with certain information and certain things that came up. Minister E, good to see you. I'm going to show you the video first before we even get into the whole thing. And like I said, because my crowd is largely a crowd that don't go to church or don't frequent church that much or stopped going to church. And now that they're watching videos and they're learning and they're understanding some things, they're contemplating going back to church. Chap, good to see you. They're contemplating that now. So to a lot of people that come through Berean TV, I'm the last hope. People say, I walked away from Christianity because I started listening to Ray Hagan and I started laying into your videos and this and that. But a lot of the church people hate me. I might as well keep it 100 because they don't understand what I do. And what I do, because I'm connected to so many other people, I try to explain to the church people, to the pastors, the bishops, the elders, what's what. And some people just want to take offense. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to, let me make sure it can come up on the screen. If I do, they can do it this way. Y'all know I'm just getting into this. So I had to post it to my Facebook so I can share this, so I can share it. So share screen, window, where my Chrome tab. All right. Tell me y'all can see this. Type of one if y'all can see this before I even hit the play button. This been floating around the internet, and there's a lot of people. People are just different. Let's just put it that way. People are just different. And there's a lot of people that don't understand a lot of stuff. People are just different. Yeah, all right. Y'all are good, right? Y'all can see it. I can see from my screen. And y'all know a lot of times I talk about Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, and how things are different. Freemasonry is interesting because it's been around for hundreds of years, sometimes thousands of years. And people are in church doing things. Good morning, but we mock certain people, and people are in church doing things, and we're seeing things because everybody have a cell phone now. I personally don't believe everything needs to be recorded, needs to be put up out there. Especially among some of my Pentecostal charismatic people. We are the illest. And we put all of our rituals out there. I want to show y'all something. Somebody posted this, and it's been going around on the internet. What in the world is this? Other people say it's madness. Use my term. It's madness. That the worst of the storm, you have to be able to handle the battle. Jesus. The worst of the storm, get into the storm, they don't talk about it. But will you still stand? Will you still go? What's going on here, Bradford? What's going on here for my people that understand church culture? Not is it right? Is it not right? Y'all got to be careful. That's a whole nother question there. What's going on here? Taking a shoe, stepping on the lady, pushed her down, covering her up, whipping her. What in the world is going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here, everybody? Let me stop sharing. I might play it again, but I said I wanted to make sure that some people saw that. When people get ordained in church, when they get licensed, when they get raised, like they would call it in Freemasonry, they go through rituals. And a lot of what we see the pastors wearing, the bishops wearing, the apostles for those denominations that believe in the apostles and all of that stuff. When we see certain things like that, they're going through a ceremony. Romans, the Bible talks about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, and people have been baptizing before that, but that's how someone identified. No one's getting saved by going down in water, but that's how they identify with the life of Christ, and that's one of the things. A lot of times when people graduate, for my regular people that don't really understand church culture, the ones that graduate or coming into the ministry, there are certain things that happen to them symbolically. If you go to churches and you see the Pope or you see a priest or a bishop and they have a staff behind their chair, that's symbolic of Jesus being a shepherd and him leading the people. These things are symbolic. They're symbolic things, and they're done symbolically, but they're like a parable. Jesus would tell a parable and talk about a sheep and talk about a sower and a farmer, but they really represent something else. Or some people would understand certain things as being symbolic or metaphorical. A metaphor is something, if you say something, it's one thing, but it's really another. Jesus is the lion of the tribe. He's not really a lion, but we use a lion to describe part of his title and part of what he's doing, who he is, so people can get a clearer understanding. A lion is the king of the jungle. So we'll do things like that. And a lot of times, one of the reasons that I say it's crazy, because a lot of what they do in Freemasonry and secret societies and what they did in ancient Kemet and the mysteries, we don't know how the priests were raised because these things were private. In Freemasonry, unless you see videos from ex-Freemasons that came out, these things are private. They don't do it. My man say, stop the madness. We got some things that's going on that developed that Israelites can't even laugh at us, because a lot of what they see people picked up in Freemasonry comes from Israel, comes from the Old Testament. A lot of what people do today in the church, they feel they have precedence for it in the Old Testament or with the early apostles. But Shaft, we got a problem, because some people would say, I didn't see Jesus raising up his apostles. All you need to do is to be anointed. There was some type of something that was going on, because we see that people came into offices after being trained. How the graduation, how the ceremony, how the entry, how the raising took place. A lot of people, we don't know. We don't know how that religion took place, how some of that raising took place. Some people said, look at this, tradition of men at its finest. When we see the apostles or the bishops like that lady, and we'll show you about the garments that they wear, because they say this come back from the Old Testament. Did Jesus wear a garment? Did the Pharisees wear a garment? Did Moses and the children, did the Levites wear a garment to distinguish them? If you were Israelite, can you tell that person is a Levite and I'm not a Levite? Or can I tell because of certain symbols, certain tribes had certain mascots or symbols? That's why I say this thing is a little bit heavier than some people actually think. But do we put ourselves out there and do we open ourselves to being mocked? Last time they had a bishop was being raised, and of course the whole office done got crazy. They running around here wearing the Pope's shoes. If they gonna raise me to be a bishop, I gotta have red bottoms on, me and my wife, because we gonna get on the front and they gonna make us kneel down. People gonna be everywhere taking pictures. So now some of churches, some people have that as tradition. If they raise me up to be a bishop, I gotta have some red bottoms on. I gotta be seen. Is some of this stuff show? Is some of this stuff good and it's part of the religion, but we're just putting it out there? And another question is, why would Freemasons keep their rituals, their raising, their graduation ceremonies private, but we don't? Do we open ourselves to mockery, or is it okay if they don't understand it? They don't understand that this stuff comes from God. I'm asking y'all a series of questions. Y'all know I throw some questions out there. We're going to go. Somebody asked me about the Bible versus Christianity on part 2. And I told them that, certain conversations do need to be held in private because there are haters. But at the same time, I struggle with who I let hear certain things, or I should, people say, because, like I said, the haters are around. Some people just don't understand. Some people just don't understand what they see. And I'm showing all of this to show that sometimes we have similarities with the Boy Scouts and Freemasonry and ancient Israelites and what them guys on the corner dressing funny. Because I can laugh and say the guys on the corner dressing funny, wearing all type of colors, and all these camps wearing all type of purple and all type of red. And this lady, these bishops and apostles, they're wearing a whole bunch of symbolic stuff. Bishop and them get up there and they got a sash wrapped around themselves. And all these things are symbolic of something. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. All of these things are symbolic of something, and we just need some clarity on some things. And it's okay to teach it. Now, a lot of people say a lot of this stuff is turned into a show, and they have a problem with it. They say it's turned into a show because y'all remember a few years ago, one video went viral and it was even on the news. It made it to the local news that a bishop laid another brother down. He was raising him up to be a bishop. And maybe I'll bring an adjutant general on. Maybe I'll bring some bishops or some apostles on that don't mind discussing certain things because it's out here already. And, I've begun, because I come from the church culture, I've been around that. I've been around adjutant generals. I've been around bishops that raise other bishops up and how the whole, and I got kind of an idea how the whole entire ceremony go on. And whilst the ceremony is going on, they're explaining it to people in the congregation when they're wrapping them and when they're putting rings on them and doing certain things. Some people like myself be like, now y'all doing the most right now. This will make the Catholic stuff. Y'all done gave to me. College of the Bishops was the majority of them dudes that I was around, and all of them was involved in that. And I said, y'all trying to sneak me back to Rome. And y'all know I'm ignorant. I know all of that stuff ain't wrong, but I'm ignorant, and I like to hit them with that. But some of them guys know it. I remember being and seeing certain things like Bishop Eric Gons and them. Some dudes, they don't play no games with these rituals. That's what I call them. They don't play no games with raising these people in these rings and these symbols. But as time went on, I see people start kissing the ring. Why should bishops have rings? Did they have rings back in the Old Testament to wear? Does it come from Solomon? Does it come from Roman pagan? Then it blend with the church. Did Jesus have a ring? Let me get ignorant right now. I know it ain't about that. I'm sorry, pastors and bishops and elders and y'all folk that follow the order. Did Jesus have a ring? And I can say ignorant stuff like that because I'm down with the ignorant people. But I know better, but I still say some ignorant stuff anyway. But these are some things. These are some things that just need to be discussed because we're seeing it more and more. Before I get out of here, the bishop got on top of the other guy and he was laying on him and he looked like he humped him. After he covered him up with the blanket, because you're supposed to be buried in Christ. This office you're walking in, you're supposed to be buried. You're going to be persecuted. People having their heads chopped off. That's like when you see elders and priests and stuff, they have that white thing around their neck. That's not Catholic. They say that actually comes from Protestants a couple of hundred years back because people were dying and people were getting their heads chopped off for the faith. So a lot of what we see is symbolic stuff. We say we're not Freemasons, we're not like them, but a lot of what we claim Freemasons do come from the Bible. That's how they understand it, and they incorporated it into their rituals. Same thing like Boy Scouts in Parliament. To become a president, there's certain rituals, there's certain things that you do once you graduate. And this is what some people need to understand. So I said I wanted to get out here. I wanted to drop that video because a lot of people are, it's going around the internet. And we're going to see some stuff. And like I said, that bishop laid on top of the other brother that was being raised to the office of a bishop. And it looked like he humped him to the carnal mind, to the regular person, to the uninitiated, to the unborn. Even some born again people were looking at that and like, what in the God's earth is this? And it made it to the news because it looked like some homosexual ritual within the church. So the leader of the denomination, the bishops and them had to come out and say, no, it was taken out of its context. That's what people would say. They said it was taken out of its context. Should we have certain things online? Should we, because we have recordings of things, should we just show everything? And I have to ask myself that, Elder Johnson, because I am Pentecostal and we are the elders. With laying on hands that people could receive the spirit and healing and exorcism. Should exorcisms be online? Should we cast out devils online and speak in tongues and get people filled to the whole. That's how come so many reform folk looking at us like they are just some different people. And now y'all already know what type of church I'm on staff. They like, you just to the bottom of the barrel. That's the lowest part of Christianity. People say, that ain't in Christianity. That's straight cult. You done went over to the other side. But the Christian church have been dealing with us as Pentecostalism, as Pentecostals. They've been watching us and reform. They've been watching us kind of sideways, but they say, oh, well, at least y'all believe in y'all believe in certain things. The main things y'all believe in, we just don't want to take that tongues and dancing and bumping into each other and rolling on the ground. We want to say it comes from Acts thousands of years ago, but other people say, no, that just comes from Azusa Street, Parham, and some other people, and that just came back on the scene, but that's not that. I'm going to have to do a teaching on this is that. I'm going to have to do some teaching or some discussions on that, and we have to look at it. And I have to ask myself in my circle, just like I asked those other people, can I find it 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,300 years ago in the church of the living God? Can I find those rituals that me and my people are practicing? We got to ask ourselves when we start seeing these things. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you all in the super chats. Thanks so much. We got to start just questioning ourselves on some of the things that we've been doing. That we do and people don't understand, but people need clarity. It seems like it's funny and people want to just say what they want to say, but we need to explain some of what we're doing, being that we're putting it out there. I love the church. I care for the church. So automatically it's going to be explained because people are going to have it floating around and nobody's going to jump and really explain why these things are taking place, why we're seeing these things, what these colors mean, what these rituals mean, why they beating her. This look like the slave master. That's how come I know it's the slave master religion. And, and a lot of apologists, I know they're busy fighting other stuff or doing other stuff. So they don't even have no time to get into it. But the silly stuff. It's the stuff that some people would label silly that'll spread all over social media. Then next thing you know, this is the satanic meme, so you can understand that Christianity was to keep us underneath. They brought us into slavery and beat Christianity, and they'll add that picture. And this is part of the madness. They'll add that and they'll make it a meme and they'll spread it all around. And it's not even what it is. But because a believer, most likely, because a believer put it out there. It's out there now, and we got to handle it. Make sure we handling a lot of the stuff that we're seeing out there. God bless y'all. I'm going to my favorite place, my other home. I'm going to Home Depot, and then I'm going to go by the church. All right, y'all. God bless.